Hello everyone, in this video we'll create Sticky Note app. We'll start by learning how to create background gradient animation with a simple onboarding. And on this view we'll learn about the progress, display date, such a day, how many tasks we have at the time, PM or AM. And we have here the tab bar. If we tap on the plus button, this view come out, we can add a new note. And here you can choose one of the sticky note. You can drag it anywhere on the screen. Let's add two more. And we have here, we can type only 60 letters. Let's see what will happen after 60. The alt text become red. If we go to the home view, tell us we have 4 tasks. If we delete one of them, we go to the edit button, we drag one of them to delete. Now we have 1 completed, 3 remain, and in here always display the last note. Just delete more. And we have the dark mode. And this video will be great for everyone who wanna get started learning SwiftUI or getting better. If that's what you want, let's just get started. To create the graded background, all we need 4 different shapes. And to create this shape by using this plugin, here you can control the shape. After that, hit insert and you have the shape. You can change the color from here. Then we will add to each one a blur by 200. Let's add here blur 200. And we have the blur gradient. I have created here some views, is all empty right now. And we have here all the shape and the colors that we need. Let's start by adding the shape on the screen. So we need an image. And we need an offset because each one will have different position on the screen. And the color. So I will add 4 different states because we will use this state to change the color and add an animation to each shape. So now we have added the color but nothing happened because this one is an image, not a shape. So to change the image color, we need to add a render. If we change the color, you see? So I need 4 different images, but first I will add this inside the Z stack. And for the animation, it will be like this. I want each second change the shape color for all shapes with a random color. So what we need is color of array with the same colors and a timer. So after the Z stack, I will add on appear. So I need the timer. Each 1 second and repeat true. With animation, here we can use the type animation. I will use linear. Let's start by 1 second. Here that's mean how long you want this animation take. I want to take like 1 second for now. Now I need a random value from this color array for each second. Will equal the colors array dot shovel. This function will give us a random value from the colors array. And we will assign this value to the colors. We say shape1 equal this value and 0. We do the same to the other shape. As you see now, each shape changing the color, but it's too fast. I want to make it like 3 seconds. And one last thing, we need the blur. So to the Z stack, I will add the blur by 100. On the finishing app, we have this mess on top the gradient. To do this, all we need is very large numbers of small circles with a random position. The position and numbers of circles will be based on the height and the width of the screen. So let's create a new view. We'll name it mess view. We'll just delete this. So we need to pass in the size and opacity to make it more customized. We need the canvas. So now I need very large numbers of small circles. The numbers of circles will be based on the width and the height of the screen. I will multiply this by size.height. We need to make this inside an int. Now we have the numbers. Let's say the width multiplied by height 10,000. I want to give to each circle different position on the screen by random value. So I need an X and Y. Let X will be equal CG float dot random value will be random from 0 to the size dot width, and I need one more for the Y will be height. Now we have how many circles we need, and we have the position. Now we need just to create these circles. The position will be here the X and the Y. The width and the height will be the size. And we need to pass in the color. And we pass in the opacity. So now let's add this view to the Z stack, but I will add another Z stack because we have already the blur to this Z stack. So on the Z stack, on top this gradient, on top this Z stack, I will add the mesh view, and we pass in the size and opacity. The size will be 1, opacity 0.1. But is not filling the screen, as you see from the top and the bottom. All we need just to add, ignoring save area, now is filling the screen. So now for the onboarding, it is simple. We have in VStack with the image and title details, and there is very simple animation, just an scale effect. But when we tap on the continue, you see the image appear first, then the title, then the details. We add just a delay between them. So let's start create this view. We go to the screens view. So we add in VStack, we need an image. And we need two texts, one for the title and one for the details. And I want to align this text all to the left, so we use alignment. But I want this image always be on the center, not to the left. So now we need the button, continue button. And for the width will be also infinity. So I want to add a padding from the horizontal. and I will add a spacer between the button and the title and the image. First we'll add here spacer, we'll all push it to the bottom, and after the image, and over here, and after the button. When I want a spacer between the text, so now I want to make this view reusable, because as you see under the app we have 3 different views, and when we tap on the continue we go to the next view. So we need to pass in to each view an image and the title and the details. We have here an image and the title. I would just comment this, we don't need it anymore. We go to the onboarding and I will add 3 different views. I will just delete all this and I will add screen. As you see, we can pass in the image. I will just copy paste the views. We'll delete this. Now we have 3 different views on the Z stack, but I want to display only the first view, and when I tap on the button we go to the next view and the next. So I will create a state, I'll name it current index or current view, by default will be 0, and we will use a switch. The first option is, we say case if is the switch is 0, we will display this view, and if the current view is 1, we will display this view, and so on. Else we will display the home view. I will create a new view, I will name it home view. I will leave it like this, just text hello. So now if I make current index 1, it will display this view. It will be dragging boarding, you see. What we need is when we tap on the continue, we will add 1 to the current view. So we go back to the screens. I need a padding for the current view. Type int. And here with animation, every time we hit the button we'll add 1 to the current view. Now we need to pass in the current view, this means this one, Let's add it to the other views also. When I tap on this view, we'll add 1 to the current view. And right now is 0, and when I tap on this button, this one will be 1. This means we'll display this view. Let's test this. You see? And after that, we'll display home view. But let's add the animation to the screens. We need an scale effect. So I need a new state. I will name it show. And I will add a scale effect to the image title details. If show is true, will be 1, else will be 0. In here I will display the onboarding view so we can see the animation. And on the vstack, I will say on appear, when this view appear, make the show true. So every time this view appear, we'll make show true, and we have this animation. Let's add the same scale effect to the title. Start by title. But by default, the scale effect starts from the center, but I want it to start from the left. If we updating the view again, you see, but on the scale effect, if you tap angle, and I want to start it from the left, we will do the same for the details. Now all the views scaling effect in the same time. I want to add delay between them. Say animation. The type of animation will make it smooth, and add in delay 0.8 second. The value will be show. This one will be 4 and this one will be 8. We need to make this one 2, no 3. Now if we tap on the continue, okay, we need to add a scale to fill to the image. So now it's good. Make this dark. But when we reach the last view and tap on the continue again, there is no animation when we navigate to the home view. Let's add a transition to the home view. I want to move it from the right and go to the left. We hit continue. We are on this view now. Press again. You see the animation. And let's add the background gradient. As you see, the text is going out the screen because the gradient view is bigger than screen. If we tap on this one, tap on this, Let's make it smaller. You see the shape, the width for the gradient view is too big. I want to make the size always fit the screen. So let's go back to the gradient view. And I will add a geometry reader. Take all this inside, make it inside geometry reader. GeoN. After the on appear, I will add a frame. The width will be the geometry dot size dot width, and the height also. The geometry reader will return us the value for the width and the height of the screen. In this way, the gradient background always fit the screen. Oh, we need to add this to the Z stack, to this Z stack. As you see now, is fitting the screen. If we go back to the onboarding, tap again on this view, you see the blue line is fits the screen. But if we tap on the continue and continue again, still we have the gradient. I want to make sure we have this gradient background only if we inside the onboarding. Simply we can say if the current index less than 2, we will have this background gradient, else not. And also I will add transition and opacity. To save time, I have created all these views is empty right now, and I have created this group. I have added all the onboarding views in it, name it onboarding. What we have here, the profile view, will have the icon, title, and an image. For the progress view and the info view will display all this information, and note overview for this 3 notes, and for the timer boarding view will have all this UI together. Let's start by creating the profile view. On the profile view, very simple, we have an icon and the text, an image inside an haystack, and a spacer between them. So I need an haystack. Let's give it a padding. Make a stroke line. After that we need an image. Right now the corner is very sharp. Let's add corner ratio to the shape by using a clip shape. And let's add a spacer between the text from the left and the right. We are finished with the profile view. Let's go and creating the progress view. So let's see the progress view. We have in circle, text, rectangle, and here inside the VStack 3 text. Let's start by creating the progress view. What we need is circle with a stroke line. This is the background color. We need the main circle for the progress. We will add another circle. I will give it same frame. And for the color will be blue. And let's make it stroke line. Let's give it for now 10. Let's make this for now 300 by 300. Let's see what will happen. And let's make this 20. To make the progress, simply we need a trim from 0 to 0.5 will be half, but I need a rotation to make the progress start from here, from the top on the center. So rotation -90. As you see, it will start from here. Right now the corner is very sharp. I want to use rounded line. So to do this, we need use stroke line but with a style. So again, add stroke, this one with a style. Tap on the option. Okay, the line width will be 20 for now. This one rounded, this one also rounded, and we'll delete all this. If you see now is rounded line. If you want to make the progress 90%, you can 0.9, 20%, 10%, and so on. Okay, let's make this back to the 100. And we need this number and the rectangle. Inside the VStack, we need the VStack. For the text, it will be 0. And for the spacing will be 3. And I want to push the VStack a little bit to the top. Maybe -3 4. Yeah, this one is good. And let's create this view vstack with 3 text. First, let's make this inside an haystack. And the color, we need one more. And one last thing, I want to add this line. On the haystack. And I will add a spacer between them. On the app, we have this 2 haystack pushing a little bit to the right. So I want to add offset to this haystack. But first, I want to embed both haystack inside the group. So now we can give to the group an offset to the X by 10. And for the line, let's give it opacity 0.3. Let's make this on the white. The next is let's create this information view. So we have here in a VStack, and inside the VStack 2 VStack. This is one and the second VStack. So let's create another VStack. Let's first static with this one, display the date and this to text. another one for the day, this one for the weekday, and let's align all the text to the left. Let's just close this one. Spacing between them will be 10. Because the day is very large, this is why we have a spacing between the text and the day. So I will add a frame by 100 to this day text. Let's just close this VStack. So what we have else? We have this line and this VStack. So we need the timer, and I want to know if we are on AM or PM. So for this we will use campaign. I will just copy paste. This is for the timer. I will give a frame to the VStack by 150. And in here for the VStack, I'll add spacing between these two VStack. The next is let's create this view for the overview note. Let's go to note overview. In here I will create a new view because I need to create this view 3 times. In here each view will have an image and a title and rotation. As you see, we have here is like rotation a little bit to the left and the right. We'll just delete this, name it sticky note. So we need to pass in an image and the title and degrees. type double. So we need an Z stack with an image. As you see on the finishing app, we have this text and those with a custom font. To have this, you go to the Google font, tab handwriting, and here so we have many fonts. So maybe I will use this one. And download the font. This is the font we have downloaded. We just drag to the here. And we copy all this. We go to the info. And here press on the plus. Type font. Choose this one. Press on this arrow. Paste the name of the font over here and enter. Let's go first to the profile view and change this title. We add the custom font dot custom. The name will be the font name. Just delete this. 30. Here we go. We have our custom font. Let's do the same for the note overview. Add rotation and I will push it a little bit to the top. Here we can call the sticky note inside the V stack. I need the 3 views. And we can pass in the image, title and degree. So I will just copy paste all the 3 notes. Here we go. So now let's just go to the time border view and display all the views. Let's start by profile view. After that, the progress view. And then in the stack for the info and note overview. I will add spacer between them to push it all to the horizontal. I will add all this inside the V stack. And spacing between them by 60. And I will push it all to the top, so I need a spacer on the bottom. And we need the padding from the horizontal to the V stack. By 25. As you see now, this view is not aligned with this view. So what I will do is give a frame height to the info view by 400 and align to the top. So now it's aligned with this view, and I will give it spacing more between them on the V stack. Let's go back to the info view. Give it maybe 36. And for this line, let's push it a little bit to the bottom. I think now is good. So what we have else, let's just creating the tab bar. I need a button, and here will be an icon. I need 3 more, and I will add a spacer between them, between the two. And here let's add the color for this one, and we need spacing by 45. And on the haystack, I will add the plus button on the center by using an overlay. We'll just copy this one. Inside and circle, make this one white, and I will push this button to the top by using offset Y. So now we have our tab bar. I'm gonna go to the home view, and we need an enum. Like when I tap on the home view, will return us the home view, and when I tap on the list view, will show us the note view and navigations, search, and so on. So I will create an enum. We'll name it tab bar views. This enum will have 5 different cases. Will be the home view and the list view, add view, notification view, and search. So now we need an state. I'll name it select tab. Will be equal tab bar views dot home. By default will be home. In here we can use the switch by the select tab. If select bar equal home, we will display the time border view. And if we are on the list, For now, let's just display text. We need in the Z stack. We'll add all this inside the Z stack, and we will display the tab bar, and I will push it all to the bottom. Now what we need is using these buttons. I want when I tap on the home view, I will return to the home view, the selection is equal home, and when I select the search, I will return the value to this view and tell him the selection is equal notification now. So he will display the notification view. To do this, we need to go back to the tab bar. In here, we need to use also the tab bar views enum. We need embedding. The type will be tab bar views. Now he asks us to pass in the enum. I will say home by default. On the action, I will say selection equal dot home. And we do the same for all tabs. Dot add search notification list. If we go back to the home view, and here we need to pass in the select. By default will return as the home view, but if I tap on the other view, navigation view, search, we need one more thing to add a padding from the horizontal. On the haystack. And I want to change the color, like on the finishing app, when we tap one of views, by default will be gray, but when I tap on the home view will be black. And here we can say if the selection equal home, make it a black, else will be gray. Select equal dot home. If is that true, make it premium, else will be just gray. We will do all this to the other buttons. We use premium that because when we switch to the dark view will be just white, else gray. But we need to add this for the plus button because right now it's just black. And here will be a little bit different. I want to say if we are on the light mode, we will have black, else if we are on the dark mode, we will have gray. But we need to know we are on the dark or the light mode. To know that is very simple. To use environment in here dot color charm var is dark, or name it just is dark equal dot dark mode we will have gray color, else we will have just in a black. Let's go back to the home view. Let's start creating this view. As you see, we can drag the items and change the position. I have created this test view. We will start very simple. We will learn about how to drag the item and change the position, because each item will have different position and an ID. For the ID, we will use the ID to delete one of the items. We need to know which one to delete, and the position to change the position and update each time we dragging. So let's start by adding the dragging gesture. So first thing, we need a model, because each item will have a different name and position and ID. We need an ID. And the name for now. And the position. And I need array of these items. I'll name it VM items. Will be of type the data model. By now will be just empty. I will add one item to see the view. We will call data model, and in here we'll say not to, and the position will be 100 by 100. So we need in a Z stack with an image, to display the VM items. We need in for each, and we will inside the for each we will use the VM items. So now we can access to this view. Dot name, and let's add the position. Dot position will be I think over here, yeah, 100 from the X and 100 from the Y. We can do it like 200 200. One more thing, a button. So when we tap this button, we'll add a new item to this array. وينزل Z stack. And here we will say the VM item dot append new element data note. We type the name and the position. We'll push this button all to the bottom. I will just delete this one. So now every time I tap on this button, we'll add a new item. Add one, you see. So now let's add the gesture inside the for each. Drag gesture. We have on change and on end. The action inside the on change will happen when we still dragging. And on end, the action will happen when we stop dragging. I mean when we lift our finger from the screen. But first let's start with on change. First thing, I need to know which one I'm dragging. So if let, let's say name it index. The VM item dot first, the one we dragging will be the first in the item. And will be equal the item ID will be the index. Which one we dragging? The first one will be like the 0 dot position in here, and we choose the position to change the position equal value dot position location. So now when we add one, I will add one more. We can drag this one and this one. Let's add animation to the dragging. I will choose the linear, that will be no delay when we dragging. Add one, another one. So now we know how to drag the item. Let's start by creating the delete function. For the delete, I will create a new view. We need an image with the icon. Oh yeah, I need one state. I will name it is dragging over the trash. By default be false, because on the finishing up, when I tap on this button, we will see the trash, and when we come on top this trash, you see it will become red, and when I lift my finger, we'll just delete it, and we will create this trash icon. Is dragging, if it's true, will be just trash.fill, else will be just trash. The color will be is dragging, will be pink, else will be black. Add the padding from all sides and make it inside a circle. And add an opacity. Let's make this one is true, because we see this one will be full and will be pink. Opacity, oh, the opacity will be 0.7, and scale effect, and the position will be 45 from the X and 375 from the Y. One more thing, let's add an animation. Let's go back and make it false. So how to delete one of the item? To delete the item, I need to know where is the item right now, the position. There is two conditions. If both is true, we will delete this item. If is the position between 300 to 450 on the Y, and on the X between 30 to 130, if we drag it over here, like here, we can delete it, and here we can delete it, and so on, because it's between these values. On the on change, I will say is dragging equal between 30 130 the value location on the X, and between 300 450 and here we say is dragging, the location is between this value and this value, The view will say yes, we are between this value and this value. This means is dragging will be true. Let's just test this. We have an item. I drag it over here. You see the is dragging become true because we are between these values. If I lift my finger, nothing happened because still we didn't add the delete function. So now let's add the on end and adding the delete function. On end, I want to make sure is dragging true or false first. If is dragging is true, we will delete this item based on the ID. And after that, so now I will add like these 3 items. I will go to this one. I will lift my finger, is deleted, and this one. And I want after I delete one of them, make the is dragging false. Let's add 2 items. We go to the here. So we're fine. Now we know about the dragging position and deleting an item, but we need to learn one more thing, observable class. Because for example, if we add a new item, this from the finishing app, now we have 2 items. If we go to the home view, he tells us we have two items. He will update the home view also. And when we delete one of them, the home view will be also updated. So this is why we need observable class to keep all the views updating together. For the passing data between the views, I have create a new project, name it testing app, just to create very simple example how to pass in data between the views, and after that we'll add this functionality to our app. The first thing is we need a data model. I will create a data model. We will have here just a name. The next step is we need a class. When you give it a name, we'll name it data class. Okay, in this class, I will have an array of type data model. I'll name it class array. Will be of type data model. Equal empty array. So now we can use this array on the display data view to display all the items inside the array. But we need one more thing. We need an observable. We need to import observable. I'll tell you in a second what that means. And before the class, simply by adding this keyword, that means when we add a new item to the class will update the view. Let's say I press this button and I add a new item to the array, this class will say, hey, I have a new item, and he will display the item over here. Maybe a little bit confused, but will be easy to understand in a second. I need to add a new item inside the class, so I need to get access to this array. At state, I'll name it view model. Will be of type data class. We need to add the data class over here. To this view also. With the view model, we can access to this array. We can say view model dot class array dot append a new item will be data model item, and you pass in the name, new item. So every time we press this button, we'll add a new item. So now if we go to the display data, in here we need also to get access to the class. We will just copy this one and we add it over here also. I need an for each to display all the items inside class array. We say view model dot class array, and in here we can say item dot name. I want to add in vstack to display the content view, and we need to pass in the view model. This one is very important. So now when I click the button, at the same time we'll add the item to the array, and this keyword will republish the view. Let's click on the button, have the new item, add the new one, and so on. We don't need this view anymore because we will start over here with a new model and the new class with the observable. Let's start by creating the model. So each note will have a different text and an image and a position. On the finishing up, when you press on the plus button, we can choose one of the images. So I'll name it like cart, be string, and the note and position. And for the class, first thing we need to import observable. Name it model. We need array of Note model. And we need three things: the completed task and how many tasks we have and how many remaining tasks left. We can use this value for the progress. First thing, I need to get access to this view. And we need is dragging over the trash. So now if we switch to the dark mode, you see nothing because it's black. To change the image color, use render. After that we will add the color. Will be primary. So now I switch to the dark mode. And for each to display all the data inside the array, will be the VM, and from the VM we can access to this array dot notice. I will give it a frame to make sure always the text inside the image. And I will use the same custom font. We need to embed this inside the Z stack. After that we'll add the position. And the gesture. We will do the same thing, but this time we will use vm.note. We say if let index will equal the value location. After that, I'll just copy paste for the delete zone. If is dragging is true, we will delete it. We just need add this inside animation. I'd make sure choose the type of the animation will be linear. This means will be no delay when we dragging. And after we deleting, we make is dragging false. After the view, I will add the trash button. It's all the same. After the for each, I will add trash icon over here, but I don't want this trash icon always be there, because on the finishing app, as you see, we have this button. When we tap on this button, we can see the trash like edit button. So I need the state, we'll name it edit. Give it a padding from all sides by 10, and give it a background. Inside the circle, and let's just change the color to the white, the icon color. And we'll add the padding to push it a little bit to the left from all sides. I'll just close this one. We go to the trash icon. If edit is true, we will see this icon, else we see nothing. Also, we need to make sure we can delete an item only if edit is true. What we have left to create this add a view, I have already created this add a new note view, and we have all the state. First thing, we have array of images. For this array, and the title for the text editor, and the selection, we need to know which one we have selected, and the show when it, for the open and the close view. Like if I tap anywhere on the view, will close the view. If I tap again on the show, will open the view. And the VM to get access to the class and environment. This is for a dark mode. If I switch to the dark mode and light, as you see, the background change and the text editor. So what we need is all inside the VStack, text editor, array of images, and button. But VStack, we need the text editor. Right now, title is empty, but by default, I want to start with typing a quick note, and when I tap on the text editor, will be empty. To do this is by using focus state. Let's type anything here. So now here the text editor. By your device, when you tap on the text field, will come out the keyboard. That means the focus state is true, like he is typing something, or he want to type something on the text field. What I want to do is, if is he typing, if is that true, we will display the title too, else will be just title. It's display nothing because we need to add the focus. Sorry, it should be title 2. Right now we displaying title 2 because S typing is false. But when I tap on the text editor, the S typing become true and we display the title. Now we can't type anything. And add the custom font. And also we have this text counter, like when we reach 36 will be red. For the text editor, we will count the numbers of the title. Title.count. So right now is 0, but if we typing, you see, adding color, title, dot count greater or equal 63. If is that true, will be red, else will be white. Primary. We do the same in here. If we typing more than 63, become red. And we need an haystack for these items. We need to add on tap gesture. When I tap one of the items, the name will be the select. And if the select equal item will get bigger by 50%, else will be 1. Let's just add an animation. Adding spacing between them, 19. And the button. In here, the action, we will save the new item to the array. The cat will be the select. Here is the title. And after we add a new one, we make the title equal null and the show will be false. Let's make this all inside animation. Is dark equal dark will be white, else will be black. And one last thing, adding background color to the view. We'll have padding from the horizontal by 10. And I will push it all to the bottom. And one last thing, we need to add spacing between the items. And I will have an offset to push this text a little bit to the bottom. And make it white. And we need one last thing, when we tap anywhere on the screen, we'll make show false. This means we'll dismiss this view. I will add all this inside the Z stack. Color clear, and we'll add content shape, be right angle, you will see nothing because color clear, and we'll add on top gesture, so now let's go to the border view and add the new note to this view. We'll close this Z stack. Add new note. We don't need to pass this one. We need to pass the view model. We need to state show here also. Comment B, make sure no errors. Let's add the new one. You see, we have this one here. And here will be 170. Here we go. We can't dragging nothing. We can't do anything. We can't dragging because this view is still open. By default, I want this view will be all to the bottom, and when we tap on the plus button will come out from bottom. We can use offset, will be negative 100, else to the bottom by 400. But I need to open the adding a new app from the tab bar. If you see on the finishing app, when we tap on this view, we'll navigate to this view and the add a new note to come out. So we need to make this one binding. We go to the tab bar. Also, we'll add the show, make it binding, and in here the plus button with animation, show, make it true. But I want to add a delay 0.2. Let's go back to the home view. Here we need a state. And here I will say if I tap on the list or on the add, we will display the border view. And we need to pass in the show. We'll delete this one. Pass the show also here. Now I'm on the home view, but when I press on the plus button, now if we adding a note, if I drag it to the bottom, left my finger, if I try again, it's not moving because the add new note is still on top this view, but we can't see it because we used color clear. And the problem is we push the add new note to the bottom only by 400. If you go back to the border view, you see here we push it only 400, but we need to push all to the bottom. I will use geometry reader. We'll cut all this, make it inside geometry reader. In here we say geometry reader size height. Let's try again and add note. It's loading. Target here, here. Let's delete one. So now let's go back and working on the progress view. We need to get access to the model. With a double value will be the VM not dot complete. We will divide it by the VM task or the number of tasks. and for the text is for the remaining task. Will be the number of tasks minus the complete task. On the add new unit, every time we add a new unit, I will add 1 to the tasks. What I mean is, if we go to the model, we have here the how many complete and how many tasks you have and how many remaining. I want each time add a new unit, I will add 1 to the task. And on the body view, every time we delete one, this means we have completed one of the text. We'll add +1. And we need one last thing. When the number of tasks is 0, I want to reset all the values to the 0 also. I mean, I will make complete 0, task also 0. After the Z stack, I will use onChange vm dot note dot count if the array equals 0, this means no note left, the task will be 0 and the complete also will be 0. Let's go to the home view. Okay, we have an error. We need to pass in the VM. Comment B to make sure no errors. We need to pass in here the view model. And here too, the VM. We have one. Let's go to the home view. We have 3. And let's delete one of them. We have completed 1, is 2 left. Delete one more. You see? Now it's 0. On the app, if we go to the list view and add one more, it'll be just numbers. This one is the last one. And right now we have 5. On the home view, we will display the first 3 items in the array. And in here, we'll display the last note. You see only the numbers. So let's go to the note overview. We need again get access to the model. If is the note array empty, will display this view. Is empty, we will display this view. Else, I would just copy paste, because here is very simple image and text like this one. I'll make it inside the for each. But I want to display only the first three. And here, how many you want to display? I will say 3. And for the height will be 350. I will align all this to the top. I will show you why we need this. I will just comment this one. If I add one item, I have one, but on the center. So I will give it this frame and alignment to the top. If we have 1 or 2, will always be aligned to the top, not on the center. And we need here to display the last note. We go to the information. If the note array is empty, we'll display this one, else we'll display the last note. We have here the last note. Let's just add a note. I forget to add this one inside in a VStack. Let's go back to the note overview. Make this all inside VStack. Here we have the 3 items, the last note. Oh, I forget to add how many notes we have.